If you guys have been following me for a while now, you know that Sifu is one of my most anticipated games of 2022, and I'm happy to say this game delivers. The animation is fluid, the combat is engaging, the story is decent, and the music is great. Like I said, the story is decent, but it's not what makes this game shine. It's your typical revenge story. A group of individuals come and kill your father, and 8 years later, you go out to seek your revenge. I don't think there's anything wrong with how generic the story is, because each of the bosses have their own backstory, which help fill out that gap. This is a fairly short game with 5 levels, so you can expect to beat this within a few days. At the end of each level, you face off against one of those individuals that helped kill your father, and let me tell you, they really put your skills to the test. As a pro tip, I'm gonna tell you right now, early on in the game, learn how to parry, dodge, and sway out of moves because this will help you tremendously in the end game.
Boss said nobody gets through. George.
Back the fuck up!
Like I said, the combat is phenomenal. It's based on the Pac-Man Kung Fu style, and every punch and kick feels so good. It was to the point where I was getting giddy over a video game, which hasn't happened in quite some time. Square is used for your light attacks, triangle is used for your heavy attacks, L1 is to guard, and while pressing down on L1 you could sway left, right, up, or down, and circle is to pick up any weapons that are on the floor. Additionally, when you hold down L2, you'll enter this focus state, which allows you to pinpoint an attack on your opponent. During combat, you'll notice at the bottom middle of the screen, you'll have this bar, and this bar represents your structure. This will increase every time you block an incoming attack or take damage. When your structure is broken, you'll be vulnerable to any incoming attacks, which is why I said you'll need to learn how to parry, dodge, and sway out of moves. Each opponent has their own structure as well. So a good strategy is to try and break that structure. Once it's broken, you can finish them off with a finishing technique by pressing triangle and circle. Additionally, when you do this, you gain a little bit of health back. Each of these defensive techniques require perfect timing in order to gain an advantage. For parrying, you simply have to press L1 as an attack is incoming. To dodge out the way, you simply press R2 in any direction. And swaying is probably the most difficult one to perform because you have to move in the opposite direction that the attack is coming in. For example, if your opponent is going for a low sweep, you have to hold L1 and push up on the stick. If they're going for a high attack, you have to press L1 and go down on the stick. This is a roguelike game with an interesting aging mechanic, so expect to die often. As you'll see in a moment here, I got completely overwhelmed and I ended up dying. When this happens, your death counter will increase and then you'll have the opportunity to expend experience points on new techniques. The other way is to go back to Wuguan Dojo and walk up to this tree, but there is a catch. If you look to the right of the screen, you'll see that there are 2 levels to unlocking a move. There's unlock and permanently unlock. To unlock the move, you simply spend the experience points that are required and that move is yours. But if you permanently die or decide to restart the level, you have to purchase that move yet again. To permanently unlock the move, you have to spend experience points multiple times. For example, let's say a move costs 500 experience points to unlock it. To permanently unlock it, you have to spend 500 experience points 5 more times. You'll also come across shrines. When you interact with one of these, your health will be restored and you'll have the chance to pick one reward.
He has a weapon!
So let's go back to the aging mechanic. This is something you really need to be paying attention to. Like I said before, when you die, your death counter increases. You then age based on the number of your death counter. So let's say you're 21 and you die with a death counter of 1. Your death counter is now at 2 and then you'll become 23. This can become a slippery slope, especially if you're dying to the same enemy. You can, however, reduce the death counter by beating certain enemies, but there will be times when it's best just to restart the level so you can be the youngest age possible by the end of it. Notice when you're on the death screen you have 5 medallions, and each one will break after 10 years. So when you enter your 30s, one medallion will break. When you enter your 40s, another will break, and so on. When this happens, you lose a bit of health, but you gain a little bit of damage. Once all these medallions are broken, you're then on your last life. If you die, you'll then have to restart all over again from the beginning of the level, and you'll start at the age you began that level at. But again, restarting a level can work in your benefit. As you're exploring the levels, you'll find items, and some of these items will unlock shortcuts. So when you do restart the level, you'll be able to go through that shortcut rather than going through the entire level once again. Just keep in mind that when you restart a level or you permanently die, all the rewards you acquired and the skills you haven't permanently unlocked will be gone. Mixing that with the difficulty of the game and the aging mechanic, it can be really frustrating at times. So should you buy, skip, or wait for a sale? You should definitely buy this game. I highly recommend it. Overall, I had a blast. It's my favorite game of 2022 so far and is a game of the year contender for me. There are times where I was extremely frustrated with the game, but the sense of accomplishment that you get makes it worth it in the end. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're always up to date with my videos, and I'll see you next time.